afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Wells, Rebecca-Wells. I am a certified nurse midwife. I am Nebraska, born and raised in Lincoln, fourth generation. Had my children in Lincoln. And I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about my perspective, being in the field, having seen hospital births here. I've worked in women's health for over 35 years. Home births are increasing. Again, they are rare. There is controversy still, or there's not agreement about safety always, but it is definitely agreed by everybody that nurse midwives are the safest caregivers in home birth. A lot of it is up to choice. In our country, we believe in individual rights, and we want freedom to make our own decisions. We are not in a country where health care is provided by the country. We don't have a national health plan. Everybody's responsible for their own care. Hospitals are different than they were when I started out. And I would say that obstetrical care in this country is high tech, it's high cost, but it's not highest quality on some of the outcomes such as infant mortality rates. High tech, some facts that I want you to keep in mind. Nebraska, 2009, C-section rate, 31.7%. Induction rate, 28.4%. Augmentation of labor, that's speeding it along, 30%. Anesthesia use, 76.9%. Lancaster County in 2008, primary C-sections, this is women having come into labor who've never had a C-section, 22%. This has changed dramatically in the last 35 years. So that the hospital now is so high-tech, and I think that's where a lot of women are not as comfortable in it, because there's so much technology, and again, C-sections are so common. Another factor is the high cost. And in Nebraska, the average hospital vaginal birth cost, and this is without provider costs, anesthesia costs added in, or newborn care, I have it for you, 2009, $5,882. As a country, we are spending more on health care than any other country. It's gone up from 5% of the gross domestic product in 1960 to 17% in 2008. It's going up at a rate that I was reading something last night. It was the unsustainable cost of health care put out by the Social Security Advisory Board, September of 2009. At the rate we're going, it's a burden to society, the huge costs, and a lot of it is the technology. In Nebraska in 2010, the number of uninsured, 237,000, or 13.3% of our population without health insurance. The other thing is high deductibles and the cost of health insurance. I know that is killing our family. It's gotten to be the biggest budget thing in your budget. And so it's a matter of risks and benefits. Everybody's not going to make the same decision, but women that are low risk, that are proper candidates for home birth, in a system that provides for transfer to the hospital if necessary, facility cost can be avoided. This is a huge savings. And to not allow this is something that I think we have to look at. The data I was looking at,
We're at the end. I want to make sure that you get in your most important points.
In conclusion, what I was looking at from the Social Security Advisory Board, they said this burden of healthcare costs on the country as a whole will continue to grow unless until we alter the efficiency and efficacy of our healthcare systems. We believe it is essential that policymakers take action to restrain the rising cost of healthcare. And this is one way it's going to affect everybody. If some of the low-risk women are allowed to have home birth within the healthcare system, ultimately it will help the huge expenditure in the area of obstetrical care. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Yes, Senator Blumfield.
You mentioned the number of C-sections.
Yes.
Do you feel, how many, if any, of those do you feel were unnecessary?
Well, you know, it's hard to say. What we notice that the trend has just gone up dramatically. And it's hard to say. Now, the reason why it's going upward at this point and why it's so high, part of it is the trend toward repeat C-sections. The trend has swung from letting women have a trial of labor and see if they can have a vaginal birth after C-section to, in a lot of hospitals, not allowing that. And so once they have a C-section, then having to have one every time. Some women are scared about C-sections, though, because a lot of the risks we don't know. I think just within the last few weeks there was something in the news about more risk to newborns that are born C-section. And we do know that looking at women who have multiple C-sections, there are a lot higher risks with those adding up. And again, avoiding them in the first place. Home birth is associated with a lot lower C-section rate.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Wells, for your testimony. Any other proposals?